Within Dexter Resurrection, one of the biggest mysteries in the show has been the identity of the New York Ripper. This serial killer that's plagued the streets of New York, hadn't killed for a while, but was now apparently still haunting the victims of the families of the lives that they took. This is Detective Wallace's Bay Harbor Butcher in the sense that it was the one case that has haunted her for her entire career. And it seems like it might well continue to do so because the identity is no closer to being uncovered. Throughout the episodes in this first season of the show, there have been different hints, clues, and theories about who this person could be, and I thought it was about time that I got involved in the conversation. Many people have been having them, and I've steered clear, but I just can't bite my tongue any longer. So let's look at the most likely suspects and determine if any of them could actually be the New York Ripper, and debunk the ones that I don't think could be. Here is Dexter Resurrection, the New York Ripper Theories Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Leon Prater. The theory that's going around the most is that Leon Prater could well be the New York Ripper, and that he could just be making out like he's not actually a killer, and that he's just obsessed with them. Prater is somebody that's quite a reserved individual when it comes to his true beliefs and his actual identity, as nobody in the wider world knows him as being this serial killer obsessed and sick individual. They know him as this philanthropic billionaire that gives back to the community, and specifically the police department charity for the city, so lying and putting on a front is something that he's familiar with doing. With him doing that to the people on the outside, there's nothing to say that he didn't also do that with the serial killer group on the inside, and he could have lied to them because he might not have been able to have trusted them, meaning that it's a secret that only he and a specific few hold on to. When Detective Wallace played the voice recording at the college lecture, there was something about that voice that instantly drew me to Prater. The roughness, pitch, and tone of voice, and the fact that it sounded like a man in his 50s, it instantly made me think of him. We know that he had a traumatic past when his parents were killed, and soon after their murder, he befriended their killer, who was an actual serial killer himself. So his mind was definitely fragile, malleable, and the conversations that he had might well have spurred him on to become the killer that terrorized the streets. He was once and is still obsessed with serial killers, so what if his eventual goal was to become one? He's got the means and money to be able to assist in covering things up as well. We've seen how involved he is in the police force and that he's aware of what's going on at all times and that people are giving him information. So I wonder if he's put money in the pockets of law enforcement in order to keep them quiet. Hence why the case has been so difficult for the likes of Wallace to solve. A seemingly well-equipped and experienced detective. Within the recording as well, the words that he said were well selected, and it meant that nothing was able to be tied to the person that was on the line. Prater is probably one of the smartest people in the show, so he could have been able to have orchestrated a speech that allowed him to get the message across that he wanted, whilst leaving no trail towards him. An alternative theory about Leon Prater, though, is that he could be the person that's terrorizing the police and taunting them because of the sheer obsession that he has with him, and that he's not actually the killer, he's just obsessed. The close personal connection to this killer being on the streets that he once walked on and in the city that's his home. He could well be mimicking him because of that desire to be a killer, when deep down, maybe he himself doesn't have it in him. So even though the killer has disappeared and fallen into the shadows, Prater could be the person that keeps bringing him back into the light in the media. I think Prater being the Ripper is a possibility, but I think it would probably be the most obvious choice. So for that reason, I think it's highly unlikely that it'll be him. Detective Melvin Oliva. Now, this is a theory that I've had in my mind for a little while. He's integrated into the story enough and on the opposite side of the law for us to not suspect him, but at the same time, if it were to be him, it would be a solid twist that I'd respect. The partner of Detective Wallace, the singular person that's obsessed with the Ripper, could end up being the closest person to the Ripper the entire time. When thinking back to the calls, he's of a similar age to Prater, so he'd match the profile, and the thing that I also think could connect it to him is the fact that the killings have stopped. Have they stopped because he's been invested in the police work that he's doing, but also because Wallace has been further invested in the case and he doesn't want to do anything whilst on the job, which could make her suspicious. When thinking back to that phone call as well, the fact that nothing was able to be tied to a person, Melvin works in law enforcement, so it's almost as if he would know what to say to make sure that nothing would connect to him. He's also been the one person that's been trying to get Wallace off of the New York Ripper case, and it was said that he helped her get off it at one point because she almost lost her career because of it. So I wonder if he was so invested in pulling her off of it because he is actually the Ripper and he wants to keep his identity concealed. So it will be interesting to see if he does end up being revealed to be the killer. In the most recent episode, he did stand front and center with the New York Ripper headline being next to the side of his head, so I wonder if that was the show almost showing us in plain sight. With the gala coming up, we know that Melvin is going to be in attendance, so I think if he is the actual killer, we might see certain behaviors, traits, and there being a heavy focus whilst at the event. Charley. First off, I know there's a theory about it potentially being Charley's mother, but I don't think that's the case at all. There's no real evidence on her being the killer, and I feel like Charley's mother is a character that's included in the show as a way of showing us the hold that Prater has over Charley, because her mother's health is the reason as to why she's working with him, in order to make her mother comfortable, which is why she's going against her moral beliefs, so I don't think that it's going to be her. Then, when it comes to Charley, there have been theories about her potentially being the Ripper, but for me, I just don't see it. We know she's a killer, that's a fact, a stone-cold killer as well, but the only people that we've seen her kill have been killers themselves. She was previously a part of the Special Forces and she mentioned to Dexter how she'd killed in the past, but it was orders that she was following. In my opinion, when it comes to the traits that we've seen the serial killers have, she actually has the complete opposite to all of them. She doesn't have trophies. In fact, she's turned her nose up at all of the trophies that the killers have had. And she actually took pleasure in killing the Canton Clubber because it was another sick, deranged murderer off the street. From a moral perspective, she doesn't agree with them, nor wants anything to do with them. She just does her job, which is to protect Prater for the financial benefit and also for the comfort of her mother whilst she sees out her dying days. So for me, she's more similar to Dexter in wanting to wipe out all of the killers and killing for those reasons, rather than just killing for fun, like it seems like the Ripper does. Blessing. Blessing is the final major suspect that all of us are thinking could be the Ripper. He's one of the kindest characters in the show, and he's the one that I think would be the most interesting if it were revealed to be him. This is because I'd love to know how the show would pull it off. When it comes to why it could be him, well, first off, he had this part of his life that nobody else in his family knew about, which showed us that he was a killer when he was younger. Not for pleasure, but because he was forced to be a child soldier. However, in my mind, the show explicitly telling us that makes me think that they wanted us to believe that he'd killed before, so that way we'd think that he'd be a suspect. Then another reason why it could be him is that he's an experienced York car driver, which means that he has full knowledge of the city, has easy access to new victims if he chooses because he has a flurry of people getting in and out of his car, and he could find out where they live long ahead of when he planned on killing them. This is because he'd be dropping them to their front door. The main thing that makes me think it's not Blessing though is because he's such a nice person, and it was said that serial killers lack the ability for empathy and sympathy. Blessing has shown those traits on a few different occasions. The first when he tried to help Dexter in giving him the apartment and setting him up on your car because he was down on his luck, but then also in trying to help Dexter repair his relationship with Harrison. So for that reason, I think it would be a surprise if it was him. I do think it would make a great twist if it was though. Whilst I would like the identity of this mysterious killer to be revealed to us soon, I feel like this could well be the overarching story that will end up going on for at least part of the next season. But I guess we'll have to see. As long as the reveal is strong, then I don't mind waiting. So, there you have it. Dexter Resurrection, the New York Ripper theories explained. If you want to see episodes of Dexter Resurrection being broken down, then check the playlist below. Who do you think the Ripper is? Share your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video and I'll see you in the next one.